Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the science fiction story A Call from the Stars, A Call to Arms. Chapter 5 Point of View Master Sergeant Sin. Well, I'll tell you what, I didn't ever thought for any stretch of the imagination I'd end up dating a alien, let alone an alien from outside this planet. But hey, what can I tell you? She digs me. I know, really old phrase, but I figured I'd throw that in there. Besides, you gotta keep your sense of humor. With the amount of fights that happen because of this pretty lady, and the amount of jokes I catch pretty much daily, you gotta just kind of roll with it some days. I mean, it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. But hey, what can you do when you got a woman that every guy wants to climb like a tree? I swear. At least, hey, she's nice enough to bring me lunch every couple of days while I'm at work. Although having her move in was, well, that was an interesting deal since we had to clear it with not only my chain of command but also her boss. Oh god, when they go into the list of that, it just confuses me. But hey, I'm not an alien, so I don't get it. Although one thing I'm glad when I moved in, we could sit down and talk about what I was going to experience my first time in space. Cindy warned me that, well, the first time you go into space, it doesn't matter if there's artificial gravity or not. You're gonna get sick. You're just gonna be queasy and just walking around funny, and just it's not gonna be fun. So, of course, I got myself some Dramamine, started pounding down the water just to make sure I could fight that, because that's the only way I knew how to handle things like seasickness and altitude sickness. But hey, I was gonna see when I was up there, and I'll tell you what, she wasn't kidding. Now, granted, we had to use one of their shuttles to get from the ground to our ship. But I'll tell you what, once we actually got past all the G forces and outside the atmosphere, it was actually more pleasant than I thought, except for one guy puking his guts out into a bag. That was not fun. I did have to yell back that if any of that touches me, somebody's going to get smoked into oblivion. And of course, I mean smoked as in exercise, and they knew I'd do it too. I got reassigned to this combat unit about 4 months ago, and they've been experimenting with the drops, the pod troopers or hell jumpers or whatever shock trooper you want to call us. I just say, hey, it's infantry, it's a new airborne. That's what it is. Although I did have to laugh my butt off when we had a couple Marines get all pissed off. Why can't we do this? Hey, you're a water grunt. Stick to amphibious stuff. That's what you signed up for. But hey, I digress. At least they took our ideas and actually took them to heart, because now the Navy is actually the Space Navy, I guess you could call it if you wanted to be more specific. It was the Earth Force Space Naval Force. Sorry, I messed it up. It's been renamed twice. That's what it started off as. The Air Space Naval Force. Hmm. I'm glad they changed it. Regardless, at first time, she wasn't kidding, but as I'm drifting along in zero G, I got to look at out one of the viewports, and I'll tell you what, the guys out here have been busy. We got all sorts of ships out there. A whole bunch of the alien ships, of course, mostly freighters and stuff. I can tell the difference. But one or two of their battleships, most of their actual war fleet is off getting ready for the next push through from the sniffs. So we'll see how that goes. And then you have ours, which are, well, we don't have enough to send yet, or at least we didn't at the time. And hey, there you go. You look over, you see those spine mounted railguns. And of course, you got all the point defense cannons and all sorts of bristling stuff all over them. Interesting ships. I just hope they move half as well as our alien counterparts. I can't stress how nimble their ships are. Not strong. They can't take a hit worth a squat, but they're very nimble. Reminds me of the people on the ground. As we got closer, I was able to see that we do have four different space docks and about a dozen different construction areas being done. Space dock and a ship construction zone are two very different things. Don't ever get those confused. However, it made me wonder how in the hell we're getting all these supplies up here. Of course, then I remembered that we were stripping our own asteroid belt for resources, plus we're getting all the stuff from our gas giants. Mars is just covered in miners right now and engineers trying to get all those little robots that do all the work. But hey, I'm not a miner, I'm not an engineer. I'm infantry. It's what I am. As we're getting close to our spaceship, we're all told to buckle in. This is going to be a little jarring. Well, they weren't kidding. When they got those grappling arms on us, it wasn't an ease to a stop like you're slowly putting the brake on your car. Oh no, it was a sudden stop, and one idiot didn't have his belt on right, and he broke his jaw after he got cursed out by his chain of command. I looked back and called him an idiot. Morons. But hey, at least when we got into the ship, we got had a chance to use the artificial gravity. We had to brace ourselves for that thing to get turned on, and well, it's not nearly as heavy as it is on the planet, but 0.89 Gs is not bad. You can work on that. After getting accustomed to the new gravity field, we were able to take a tour around the ship to see what was where. We got to see the bridge, the chow hall, and all this other fun stuff. But what really blew my mind was instead of having a whole bunch of shuttles in the shuttle bay, I looked up to the top and they had fighters. I even asked, "Are you crazy? Do you have any idea how stupid it is to have a fighter in space? There's no dogfighting out there. Somebody's going to launch a missile at you. You can't shake that shit unless you shoot it." The guy looked at me and goes, "Do you see a cockpit?" And I looked again, sure enough, they're drones. They're thousands upon thousands of drones, each one of them with a main energy weapon sticking out the nose, and the stabilizers, apparently, that stick out are covered in small missiles. These missiles are designed specifically to punch into the armor, and once they are in, act like a bunker buster and blow it into it. They're just to blow small holes in the hull. They're not enough to cause major damage, but that energy weapon sure is. And I realized, hey, these guys are not playing around. I was like, why didn't you just make a carrier? He goes, you see that big ship over there being made? Yeah, that is one. Cool. After all that, we got a chance to look at what we would actually be dropping in. The new exosuits had come in. Oh, they're nice. Full articulation. No hesitation in the artificial musculature. It was just really good. Not to mention, compared to the Gen 1s, 4 times the power output. We expected even more, but we were happy with what we got. Not to mention the new weapons came in. 16 millimeter ammo. No joke. I was like, I hope this thing doesn't kick nearly as bad as it looks. The tech looked at us and said, no, it's worse. So hold it real tight. He wasn't kidding, by the way, but we wouldn't find that out till later. Once we were fitted into our new exosuits, which took a hell of a lot shorter than I thought, they put us in the pods. Oh, God, the pods. Oh, it's just like the book says. You're hooked in that sucker. You can't move. Your eyes are the only thing that can dart about, but you're in complete darkness. You feel the pod moving into place. And of course, the female voice saying, okay, prepare for drop. And a whole bunch of people you can hear through the bulkhead yelling back at her, "Fuck you, lady." Well, when it was time for a drop, I was one of the ones who went first. You have to lead the way, of course. And down we went. It was jarring, to say the least. I thought docking with the other ship was jarring. Oh no, this hurt. And suddenly we're shot down and we're in zero G and you're just drifting. You don't know where you are until the HUD pops up. And then it gives you a distance to the stratosphere, to the ionosphere, and all the others. And I'm just sitting there saying, "Oh, well, at least if I go splat, I'm not going to feel it. Oh, this is going to hurt." And down we go. As you go in, you feel the heat just shaking the crap out of you. And by that, I mean the friction as it shakes you as you're going through. Thankfully, the way it's shaped and the fins that pop out as soon as it's deployed, you stay in the correct position. But as soon as you get close, you can actually see it ready to pop the chute. As soon as it pops the chute, it's a small parachute that lines up, and all that is just make sure you're in the right position. And then a metal chute actually opens up. And that's again just to slow you down just enough. Once you get about 1000 AGL, that's above ground level, those three chutes open. Oh, geez, and I thought the release was jarring. Oh, no, I thought my ankles went through my ass. Just boom. And suddenly you're just drifting. And you're suddenly thinking, boy, I wish I could see, but I'm kind of glad I can't. Because you see those numbers ticking down, and you're just thinking, okay, here comes the ouch. Here comes the ouch. Here comes the thud. And you're down. And without skipping a beat, the door opens, and you just step forward. I have never been so happy to be on solid terra firma. I looked around as everyone else is still landing, and I think I saw at least four, as soon as they got out of their pods, lean over, pull their helmets off, and kiss the dirt. Oh, oh, I hope I don't have to do this a lot. I know it's got to be done at least twice a year to keep my certification, but holy crap, that sucked. Thankfully, as I looked over, here comes the recovery vehicle to get the pods. Not for us, though. I signaled for everybody to rally up. They trotted over, and we marched the next 38 miles back to where we were going to be. Just in time for midnight, and the engineers to be standing there really tired to get these suits off of us. Oh, I'm glad most of that system is automated. Afterwards, I asked everybody how it went for them, and they all looked to me the same way, with an equal "I don't ever want to do that ever again," and "When is our next turn?" Well, what can I say? We're human. We're adrenaline junkies. I already had it on the schedule.